Farming Simulator 19 with me, CWATTYESO. I have finished chopping down all the trees that I said I was going to do in the last video. They are all logged and felled, and I even did a few more round over here up the hill behind the old wood chipper. Took a few trees out around here as well, logged them up. So I guess now we've got the slightly dubious task of having to get all these logs picked up. So that is why I've leased myself another bit of kit. I've got myself a Mack truck and a log trailer, because this should make life a little bit easier. Now, this is gonna be interesting, because this is supposed to be an auto load trailer, by the way, but I'm not fully sure how this actually goes into auto load mode. I know it doesn't work quite the same way as the auto load trailers for the bales and pallets and things, like the easy auto load stuff. So you've basically got to pick which section of the trailer you want to fill first with your logs, and it's important to know what your log lengths were, which is why I did 6 meter logs, because I know this trailer will do 2 stacks of 6 meter logs on it. They should stack a lot better, is what I'm saying. It might have been better if I'd done them at 5 meters, then there would have been a little bit of a gap, a little bit of clearance. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I say, not used this before because I've haven't done a lot of logging in my farming sim lifetime. It's not something I normally do, but in this series we are doing things completely different to how I've done it in the past. Now, one of the things about this trailer that you've got to know is it auto loads from one side. You have to select which side you're loading from, either the left side of the trailer or the right side. And you've then got to drive, obviously, then with the truck in the correct place. We'll pick up logs. However, unlike the other the normal auto load trailers, like for pallets and bales, the logs on this don't go into like a ghost or ethereal state. They are actually still physically there, so they do kind of move about. They are still affected by physics, so they do tend to maybe fall out of the trailer a little bit. Especially with the way I'm picking them up at the moment, which is probably not the best way to pick up the logs. I'm perhaps going a little bit too fast, driving past them as if they're like bale. I'm auto loading bales, which is kind of the habit you get into, and then you're driving over the logs, which is making it an even bigger mess. You can see the logs are just bouncing, and see they're not stacking brilliantly. I might have been better off doing 5 meter logs. No, a lot of the first logs I loaded didn't actually stack right up to the headrest of the trailer. Look at that, they're just sliding off the back, man. Either I'm doing this really, really badly wrong, or this truck isn't that great at auto loading. Not quite how I was expecting it to function, I'll be honest. I was thinking more along the lines of the normal easy auto load baler, pallet stacker type doodah. the fact that these logs aren't fake logs, they're not like, you know, ghost mode like when you auto load stuff, and the logs still have all their normal physical properties, means they don't really stack that brilliantly. They slide around on the trailer. But we'll get this first lot delivered, and then I'll go and have another go. I'll keep practicing. I'm not going to ditch it yet. It might be that I need to change how I do things a little bit with this machine, and not just try and pick things up the way you pick things up with other machines. You know, logs are not pallets, logs are not bales, and I've got to try and get that into my head. That these are not the same. They have different physics and properties and stuff. The fact that they're all different sizes and diameters doesn't help, I suppose, when you're making an auto-load system. I mean, pallets are always going to be the same size. Bales are always going to be the same size. Makes it very easy for a mod maker when doing an auto-load to work with objects that are, you know, a consistent dimension. Whereas the logs are all different. A couple of logs still there. Now I need to get that grid back to the front. There we go. Well, obviously I want to load the front of the truck first when we get back to the logs. Trying to figure out how to re-enable all the settings. Just checking all the different settings now, whilst I've got the help window open. Just going to push those into the sell point. Some money for those. So that first trailer actually made quite a nice bit of money. We're up to 360 odd thousand bucks. So logs definitely pay more than wood chips, and bulk logs like this is definitely the way to go. But yeah, see, picking the log, I think it's a combination of things. I think the way that I'm driving the truck as I'm trying to pick these logs up does not help. I think the trailer needs to be kind of stationary. You don't want to be at an angle to the logs because they fall through the gaps in the trailer, in the uprights. And also, by keep driving forward, the logs are not getting placed up against the headrest of the trailer. It makes it a bit awkward when you're trying to create two stacks. They're just bouncing off each other and then falling off the trailer. To be throwing more logs off the back at the minute than I am picking up. In fact, they're all sliding off the back. It kind of needs a bit more work, I think, this mod. I know it's on the mod hub. I don't know if the mod author plans to do any more work with it and plans to do any more updates, but I think you need a system like with the bale collectors and that, where the logs are kind of held in a artificial state. You know, once they're picked up from the game, they're only a visual thing on the back of the trailer. They're not really there, if you know what I mean. And then when you unload them at the sell point, that's when the real logs get put back into the game, sort of thing. It would look a lot neater, look a lot tidier if the trailer worked that way, I think. To unload on a different side. It's a shame as well that you can only unload on the same side that you've been picking the logs up from. So I've been picking the logs up from the left of the right side of the trailer. I can only unload them on the right side, so I've got to switch back to the left side now to unload them. So when I go back to pick up the logs, I've then got to remember you're picking up from the left side. Be nice if the pickup side of the truck, in fact it'd be better if you didn't have to select a pickup side, that the truck was able to pick up from both sides at the same time. And the only thing you needed to do was specify a unload side, which side of the truck you want to unload on. That's the only thing that really, as a player, you should need to. The truck should be capable of picking up logs from both sides of the truck at the same time. We've made another good bit of money there, another trailer load of logs, and we've made another good bit of money. So I don't know how many trees there are on this map, but if I can do this with every single tree plus all the extra ones that obviously we'll be planting to replace the ones we chop down, we're going to get very, very wealthy. And one of the things I think as well is after I've picked up logs, I'm just going to start strapping them, stop them wobbling about on the trailer. It's a little, probably going to be slower, but might be a more consistent way of getting them loaded. Also, not moving the truck when the logs are in their loading animation seems to be working better this time. Although that one didn't quite go on as well as... That's because I turned the trailer, you see. Don't turn the trailer either. Keep the trailer straight during the animation. But that seems to definitely like the logs better. Going a little bit slow and a little bit steadier at it. One more log over here, I think. There it is. Obviously there's going to be a lot of tree stumps to remove later. Quite a lot of tree stumps to remove. We'll wait and see what I'm going to put back in this area then. What buildings we're going to add to this lovely area around the farm now I've cleared it of all the trees. Hopefully buildings with a bit of function, which should be nice. Something that has functionality and can probably make us some money. So probably not a hunting stand, probably not a bird watching platform, probably not a windmill. Right, so we should unload these logs a little bit better. Now what I ought to do probably is try and position this truck a little bit better so that the logs don't roll out of the sell point. They only roll into it. There we go. There we go. Despite the fact that there was a log on the trailer that wasn't quite on the trailer, it did get sold. That log had rolled too far into the sell point, so it wouldn't sell. Trigger's a little bit finicky on that. I would have probably extended it into the shed a little bit. Certainly looks a lot clearer now on this map with all these trees chopped down. It's going to be interesting to see what I can add back in to make it look less bare. The great thing about this is every time we want to make a bit of money, we just need to go and chop down a load of trees. Just rent yourself a Scorpion King for a day, go chop down a whole load of trees, then come round, pick up all the logs, and definitely loading better now. I'm going a lot slower, and I'm not trying to load it like I would be a bale trailer. You know, trying to pick up, you know, 200 bales in 5 minutes. It's just this log trailer is just a little bit different in how it operates, but once you've kind of got used to it, it's certainly going to make logging a lot easier, because picking up the logs is obviously the bit that becomes the most difficult part of the process, and it's the bit that most people have the problems with, mainly because of the way the physics work in game, with the fact the logs jump and jiggle about everywhere when you're trying to pick them up, and a lot of the grabbers in the game on a lot of the vehicles don't pick up more than one log at a time, which means it takes ages. And oh no, I've tipped over the truck. Uh-oh. And I'm probably not going to be able to get that back up. Right. Because them logs are quite heavy. And that's again the difference between that auto loader and one that does like bales and pallets. With the sort of ghost ethereal pallets and pails, there's no actual physical weight there on the trailer, which means generally if you tip the thing over, you can self-right. However, those logs are real and they all have weight, so that trailer is quite heavy. So let's see if this little front loader not quite. I thought I had it going then. I thought I had it going. Come on. This little tractor's been great so far this series. For such a small tractor, it's actually done quite a lot of work for us already. This is its true test though. If it can pick this truck up, put this truck back on its wheels. Right now all we seem to be doing is taking the tractor's wheels off the ground. Struggling. You need to get them. I need to get that bag handle in somewhere. Get it stuck between some logs. Give it a push. Come on. Close. My first attempt was the closest. First attempt was the closest to getting it to tip back over. Here we go. Here we go. Done it. Look at that. That is a victory, folks. That is a victory. Last thing I wanted to do was reset the truck and trailer. That is a victory. I was quite surprised. I didn't think that tractor could do it, but it did. So a round of applause to the little John Deere tractor. Oh, it's starting to rain. Starting to rain. I'm glad I'm logging. Oh, I'm glad I'm just picking up logs. Any other map, I'd be in a field somewhere getting absolutely sludged up. You know, it's kind of nice and interesting at the same time to be on a map where I'm not doing ploughing and cultivating and seeding and fertilising and all that stuff. That I'm doing something a bit different, doing something completely different for me. This is like a break from normal farm sim for me. And I know some people are probably wondering what's happened to Dalton Valley Farm. I did the introductory video to that, and that's on the channel. But I haven't recorded any more episodes of that as yet. Well, I've recorded an episode. I haven't like rendered it and everything yet. And the reason for that is because that series I am doing farming and I am doing seasons, but also the fact I'm using all these new mods like Maize Plus and stuff. There is so much that I've got to try and figure out. It's like in the video I recorded for Dalton Valley, I started to do some cow. I bought some cows for the farm. I thought, well, we might as well do a few cows first year whilst we're doing field work and stuff. But because of the Maize Plus mod, it completely changes the food system and all the stuff you have to give them, all these extra new items, and I don't know how to make those items yet or how to get hold of them. So right now, all my animals, I've got chickens as well, and they need things like carrots and sugar beets and corn and stuff, as well as, you know, your wheat and barley. And that's going to be very challenging to do. So what I'm kind of doing with Dalton Valley at the minute is I'm kind of holding off on that series, doing too many recordings just yet. What I would like to do is do a bit more streaming on Stone Valley, where I've got the Maize Plus mods installed, got some nice big fields, and don't have Seasons mod, just so I can see how all that Maize Plus stuff works and everything. Because obviously the last thing I want to do is try using that mod on Dalton Valley and find out it doesn't work with Seasons. Because certainly the thing I'm noticing with the animals is that despite giving them their food and stuff, they're all the while showing us cleanliness 0%. They're never like 100% clean. And their health, the animal's health, is always going down then as a result. So I'm wondering if there's an issue there with Seasons and Maize Plus, which could possibly be, because obviously Seasons hasn't had any updates for 6 months. There hasn't been any new test versions of it or anything, so I don't quite know what's going on with Seasons development from a mod point of view, whether there is still work being done on it. Right now it does seem to have some, I've had issues with it in some of my recent attempts to use the mod. So I would fully expect that I would probably have issues on Dalton Valley with it, with some of the mods I'm running. I'm also thinking actually on this particular map as well that Seasons might not be a good thing. And the reason for that is I don't actually know how long it takes the trees to grow with Seasons. The saplings that I planted, I don't know how long it will take them to grow into trees that I can cut down and log. I know poplars take about 3 or 4 years to grow if you do a field of poplar to get wood chips. I would imagine trees take longer. And I don't really fancy doing a let's play where I have to fast forward 4 or 5 years at a time just to be able to get to do anything. So there's a possibility that Seasons might go bye-bye on this map, and I know that's a bit of a subject at the minute. I know there's a couple of YouTubers who have recently received a little bit of criticism from viewers for having started series with seasons switched on and then removing it because they found it to be too difficult or too slow or whatever, and then people are saying, oh no, no, you don't want to play with seasons. Why don't you do a proper seasons playthrough? And oh, I'm not watching anymore if you're not playing seasons because you're not playing real. I don't know. I don't know about that. I hope my viewers don't care too much one way or the other, whether I keep using seasons or not. I know the likes of Mr. Helgi will say, remove seasons, it's rubbish, don't use it, because he doesn't like seasons. He detests it and won't play it. I would like to keep it on Dalton Valley. I think it probably makes more sense on that Let's Play through, which is more of a traditional farming approach to the game, to have seasons when you're doing traditional farming like field work and stuff like that. I don't know if seasons is really going to cut it in this Let's Play, because I think it's just going to restrict me too much. Because if I'm not going to be able to keep planting trees and chopping down trees, because it takes them too long to grow, then obviously that's going to cause a problem. We're going to end up with not having much to do, because I definitely don't want to be making fields and doing regular farming. I don't want to do that on this map. If I get into the animals, if I decide I'm going to have animals on this map, what I want to do is have to buy all the food for them, all their supplies, their bales, their food, etc. I don't want to be producing any of the food for them. I just want to be buying the food complete, feeding the animals, and then selling whatever the animals produce, or selling the animals themselves, if that kind of makes sense. And obviously the profit, the money I make, wants to be from this type of activity, logging, which we then recycle back into buying the stuff then needed for the animals and equipment and buildings and other things. About the only thing I would be tempted to do field work wise on this map would be maybe grass. Obviously make sure we've got plenty of hay, silage, again for when we do animals. Lovely log trailer of power, look. I don't want to run over my little saplings though. Let's not run over the little trees if we can help it. I know I'm trying to take a screenshot there, and I think I've just driven through my little trees. I don't know if you can break saplings or not, can you? I know you can cause crop in their first growth stage. I don't know if you can damage them, cause crop destruction. That would be a disaster, wouldn't it? If you'd gone to all the trouble of planting a load of trees with seasons and then you drove through them because you couldn't see them and you wiped them all out. Another massive pile of logs. We're definitely getting them shifted, we're getting them sold, and we're making good money. I ought to maybe look at placing something else in this, on this particular sell point. If there's another object something I can fudge in there to stop the logs from rolling out of the sell point into the sawmill, just as a bit of a backstop when I'm unloading. There must be something in the decorations or miscellaneous section I can place in there. Maybe the pressure washer. Put the pressure washer in there. Use that as a backstop. unload the rear of the trailer first this time. That's confidence. Gonna have plenty of tree stumps to remove. That is a fact. I'm wondering if I should maybe do that with a T-Rex though. Now we've got plenty of money, I could lease a T-Rex, which wouldn't be too expensive with Seasons. Because the way Seasons does the vehicle leasing, I could borrow a T-Rex for a couple of hours. Not pay terribly a lot for it. Appears to be all the logs picked up. So that's gone quite well. I was quite surprised. That's actually picked up quite well. Apart from a few initial teething issues whilst I was getting used to the truck, I think I've got the hang of it now. I think I understand how it works and how it works better. Got a feeling this time round. So we unload these logs, we're going to sell them all. We can return the truck and trailer at that point, because I'm going to be kind of done with it for today. Return the leased equipment. I'll probably end up grabbing the logs, I'll probably end up doing the tree stumps off camera. And then we'll be ready in the next episode of the series then to do something else. Maybe I can landscape that area without the logs, without the trees on it, and then start whacking down a few more placeables, building up my little facility. So it's just a question of whether I decide to go around and remove the stumps with the little tractor, or whether I decide to come and grab a T-Rex. I'll think about that. As I say, whatever I do with the tree stumps, that'll be done off camera. We'll have a nice clean canvas, shall we say, deal with when we come back for the next episode of this wonderful No Man's Land series, which I hope everyone is enjoying. And even if you're not enjoying the series, please still hit that like button, just to, you know, spare a thought for the creator who has gone to the time and effort to make this video, and to help them out with the YouTube algorithm and everything. You know, just hit the like button. You don't have to subscribe, you don't have to leave your comments anymore, all that business like you used to be asked to do. Apparently right now the most single thing you can do to help any YouTuber is just click the like button. That apparently comes with a lot of weight, carries a lot of weight with YouTube at the minute. Unlike this little bit of wood, which has no weight and won't do anything when it goes in the wood chipper. We're also obviously going to get the landscapey tool out, and we're going to start flattening, because this is quite hilly, this land all around this wood chipper. It's a bit hilly and bobbly and knobbly, so I want to smooth it out if I can. I don't want any bumps. My property. So get the old smoothing tool out and give the map a bit of an ironing, get the creases and wrinkles out of it. I'll be doing that on the area that behind the house as well. Paint all the wood chips as well. Everywhere we've removed trees, remove all the foliage so we can see where the tree stumps are. Again, I can always come back later on and repaint the terrain if I need to. Obviously also going to need to be a lot more smoothage going on, but I can sort that out. Well, that's it for today's episode, folks. we have reached the end, like I say. Go and click that like button. If you do want to subscribe to the channel, I won't prevent you. You know, I'll say thank you very much for doing so. If you want to leave me comments to read and respond to, even better, but again, don't feel forced. Just click that like button. That's the only thing I'm asking anyone to do. Click that like button. Come on. I will see you all again for another episode here on No Man's Land very soon. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Goodbye for now.